ToMolly.
Welcome to Forensic Gameology, hosted by MoonlightCrew.com.
Reviews for science.
In 7 minutes or less.
Alchemists. Alchemist is a game. It is taking up our entire table. So Alchemist is a deduction game, but it's a worker placement in order to find out the deduction. So what you're trying to do is figure out the ingredients that make up these, they call it alchemicals. And so 2 ingredients will...
Like a scorpion and a flower.
Right, and so you do that by using an app, which we actually aren't able to show you because our phone is also our camera. And so you would, throughout the game, you take pictures of 2 of these with the app, and it'll tell you what potion you made. Did you make a red negative, red positive, and so on and so forth. And then you have behind here the ability to put those little things. So if I made a positive green with those 2 ingredients, I would then mark it on my sheet so I know kind of what it is. So that's kind of the deduction part. The worker placement is placing it on this board to do those things. Pick up ingredients, help you out to do those things. So it's a really complicated game that I don't have much time, or I don't have any more time to talk about the rules of the game.
Yeah, it would take us half an hour to explain the rules of the game.
So more than that. Simplicity versus complexity.
This game is very complex. There are a lot of moving pieces. A lot of things affect other things that you do or can't do, and sometimes you'll plan out your turn. As your turn progresses, you realize that you can't afford to do the things you thought you could have afforded to do. Very complex, lots of rules. The mind, just how much it taxes the mind to try to figure out what the alchemicals are made up of. Very complex game. This is in no way a simple or light game.
I would agree. It is a very complex game. It is not a beginner gateway game at all. You need to play with people who are ready to have their brain busted, because you have to place on the board, you have to remember or try to figure out these alchemicals. There's so much you need to do in order to get points, and so much things you need to remember, so many ways to get those points. Yeah, it is a complicated game. So it's not just your normal deduction game, it's also worker placement. So they combine the 2. So it's really complicated. Luck versus strategy.
I think this game, while it has luck because you can try to purchase these ingredients to try to figure out the alchemicals, and those come out randomly, and some of the other stuff is random. I think this is in general a very strategic game. Choosing the turn order at the beginning of every round is very strategic.
Yes.
The choices matter greatly, and in fact, it's one of my favorite parts of the game.
Yep.
I enjoy trying to figure out where I should go and what it's going to benefit me to lose stuff to go first and go earlier. You got the making good choices here with the artifacts that you pick up. I mean, I always go for, if I see a specific good artifact, I'm going to get it, and that's a choice that other people are going to try to beat me to. Maybe they'll try to take turn order earlier just to beat me to it. Very strategic game, a lot of important choices throughout the entire game.
I think this is super strategic. I think you can change your strategy throughout the game based on the round, which is fun, meaning if you chose something and it didn't work, just choose something different the next time and you'll be fine. I do agree with Tom. The turn order is fun. You choose after the beginning of each round. Do you want to get less things or more things and go last? Going last hurts you with the rest of the game because you might have to pay, you might get sick, all these things. So it is very strategic in starting from the beginning and going throughout. If you just want to say, I'm going to be last, that's fine. Then you're going to base your strategy off of that and prepare for that, hopefully. Fun versus boring. I think this game, so in theme, this game is super fun. I went to school and I got a science degree, biology degree, and so this theme just really, really speaks to me. I really liked the rule book. It is very dense, a very, very dense rule book. Text heavy, but I enjoyed reading the rule book, which may sound funny to you, but I liked it because it talked to me like I was a scientist. Like, okay, you're doing these experiments, and it's very scientific in that you're trying these experiments and it's not working. Or it does work, and most of the time in science the experiments don't work, but you still learn something, and so that shines through in this game. How often do I want to play this game? Not very often, because it's so complicated. I do not want to teach it to anyone, and so that kind of downgrades my fun versus boring, but I do think it's very thematic, and so that really helps me personally enjoy the experience that I had, because I feel like I'm in the lab like I was, and my experiments are failing, and yet I'm learning something, and so I can move on and try to gain more information. So that's what I.
Fun versus boring for me. This game is not that fun for me. There are parts of the game I think are very fun. The deduction part, and especially because you have a cool app that's just cool. I like pointing at the camera at
Yeah.
the cards and taking the picture and having it tell me. And you can hear the feedback from the app about what other people have found out,
Uh-huh.
and is it a positive or negative. And so that's fun. The turn order is fun. Um, there it's kind of a chore to play this game. There's just so much going on. The worker placement, the publishing to get points at the end by telling first which alchemicals are which. I still don't understand the salesman role in which you can go get gold by selling your potions. Like I just go there and
Yeah.
I lose gold instead every time. I don't remember. It's just there's so much going on in this game
Yeah.
that I'm like, man, it's just so it's so taxing to me that it becomes boring. So
Yeah.
take that for what it is. If you like a heavy euro, then
Is your
this
game?
is for you. But for me,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't fun for me. Board game geek rating.
I would probably give this a 5.5.
It's funny you say that. I would go 5 as well. The game is designed very well. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot argue that. This is a
Yeah.
well designed game.
Yep.
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And
It's a
so
lot.
I don't want to play it. It's a take it or leave it to me. There are some fun parts to it, but for the most part, I don't want to play it.
Yeah. When we get to 500 subscribers, we give away a free glitter painting. So subscribe and you could win.
It could be you that wins.
Alchemist. We've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.